I forgot to mention this during the video, so I am adding it here. 1. Remember that you have no reason to fear any dog running out into the road at you or biting you in the road while you are cycling / jogging / walking, because they are all sweet wholesome family dogs. Because that is the lie that the prosecutor and dog owner would use against you if you defended yourself pre-injury. Also remember that if you just keep riding / jogging / walking, dogs will never run out into the road at you, because that is the lie that the prosecutor and owner would use against you had you defended yourself pre-injury. Also remember that you cannot reasonably have been expected to have expected the dog would have been faster than you could outrun, because everyone knows dogs can only run 15 miles per hour. Because that is the type of lie that the prosecutor would use against you had you defended yourself pre-injury. Also remember that there is no way you could have known the dog was dangerous, and remember that if you knew the dog was dangerous, then that means the owner knew the dog was dangerous too, and that means the owner knew they were harboring a dangerous animal. And as we all know, owners would never be so callous as to purposely endanger others with all these unrestrained dogs. Also remember that if they say you should not have used the road because of all the unrestrained dogs on it, or that you knew you shouldn't have used the road because of the unrestrained dogs on it, then that means they knew their dogs were dangerous too, and they knew they were harboring dangerous animals. Remember that you have no right to stand your ground against a dog, even if not doing so could cause a traffic incident, so you have to keep cycling / jogging / walking. 2. Make sure to invoke your Fifth Amendment rights, as literally everything you say can be used against you. Seriously, say nothing more than you are hurt and need an ambulance and that you are invoking your fifth. Past that, just shut up, and also demand a lawyer if the police try to talk to you. And don't let them pressure you into talking. They will try to raise your emotions to get you to speak by saying things to tick you off, or to make you feel like you will get in more trouble if you don't speak, or they will try to make you feel like they just want to have a casual conversation, or they may use other methods to get you to talk. But it's a trick, so just shut up anyway.
I want to ask about your lights.
Oh,
You can see them from a long ways off.
yeah.
I've got an adult tricycle. I've got Parkinson's, so I shake.
So, after I had this conversation with this man, I was inspired to make this video. People like him are totally at the mercy of these psychopaths that love to leave their dogs unrestrained. There's not a reason in the world to leave a dog out, except to maul people and cause people problems, because that's the only utility of leaving the dog unrestrained. Keep in mind that where I live there is no law requiring dogs to be restrained. It doesn't matter the breed or pack size, they can have anything unrestrained where I live, even in town. I have come close to being mauled many times by packs of dogs and dangerous breeds and dangerous types of dogs. There is no direction I can go in that I can avoid this problem, especially when I have to go a certain direction to get to where I am headed. I have even had pit bulls roaming in my parking lot before. Keep in mind that I do not own a car, only a bicycle, and riding past dogs causes their chase instinct to kick in. So, I think I will start off with the plan, then go on to the explanation. Basically, the plan is to let these irresponsible dog owners destroy themselves. I am always told to just keep riding, instead of getting off the bicycle to try to quell the chase instinct of the dogs. And apparently stopping to walk away slowly and quell the chase instinct is looking for trouble. So, this plan is based upon giving dog owners what they want. To just keep riding / jogging / walking, while totally ignoring the dog. Keep in mind also, that in my case, there is no way to avoid dogs, except to live like a recluse. No matter what direction I go, I will run into unrestrained dogs. Keep in mind that I also do not own any motorized transportation. So, the bicycle is my only option. Word of caution. This plan puts all of us at extreme risk for things like permanent nerve damage, permanent disability, infection, death, crushed bones, rabies, 7% of domestic animals have rabies, disfigurement, etc. And a single bite from a dog can do all of these. But, as properly defending ourselves pre-injury can end up with you and me being put in jail, this is really the only option left. While defending yourself properly and effectively pre-injury is never looking for trouble, no matter how many times you have to do it because of the psychopaths you are surrounded by who just can't seem to grasp the concept of being responsible for their own dogs, or who purposely leave them out to hurt others. If you do manage to defend yourself effectively, as in before being injured, you do run a very high risk of ending up being convicted for some crime, while the psychopath who endangered you with their dog sits there on the stand talking about how their dog was just the friendliest family dog ever. I have seen this over and over and over again where these dog people lie up and down about how great their dog is. And I have seen over and over and over again people injured while these dog people lie about it. We need much tougher laws to punish these dog people when they hurt or endanger others with their dogs, but that's not what we have right now. Keep in mind that even if the dog is running at you and barking, showing clear aggression, these dog psychopaths will claim it's not dangerous and is just doing what dogs do. Keep in mind that mauling people is just what dogs do too. Dog bites send nearly 316,200 victims to hospital emergency departments per year, 898 per day. Therefore, maulings are normal dog behavior. In 2015, more than 28,000 reconstructive surgery procedures were performed because of dog bites. In all of the videos I have seen of maulings, I have noticed two factors as being most prominent. 1. An unrestrained dog. 2. A pedestrian of some sort, minding their own business.
Keep in mind when you watch this, that I have proven in my previous video that even a dachshund can run 22 miles per hour, and I have proven before that I am not fast enough to outrun a dachshund. So, most dogs can probably hit at least 30 miles per hour, as I showed was a reasonable expectation in the previous video, where even a bulky mastiff that was certainly not built for speed hit 29 miles per hour in the snow and without even trying, and where it was shown that blue heelers can go 40 plus miles per hour. So the hopes of actually outrunning a dog are slim, even if you do own an electric bike, most of which only top out at 28 miles per hour, and some of which top out at 20 miles per hour. Plus electric bikes usually become harder to pedal than normal bikes after the battery dies because of the resistance of the motor and the weight of the motor and batteries. And I don't own an electric bike, by the way. Plus you cannot outrun a dog that intersects you. Plus there is no way for me to avoid dogs except to not leave my home, as there is no law requiring dogs to be restrained where I live. Keep in mind that every direction I go, I run into dogs. There is no dogless route that I can go on to get to my destinations. Keep in mind that the faster you go, the harder you will hit the ground when the dog catches up to you and starts ripping in, and the harder you fall the more road rash and broken bones you will receive. Keep in mind that staying on the bike puts you at risk of lane wandering, which could get you and others hurt or killed if you wander into the oncoming lane and someone swerves to miss you, or you go through their windshield, or you end up in the ditch or going off a cliff or a drop of some sort like an irrigation ditch. Keep in mind also that even if you can outrun the dogs you first come across, other dogs can run out from ahead of you and tackle you. Keep in mind also that I had been scanning yards so that I could get off the bike in time to quell the dog's chase instinct, but I will no longer be doing this, and it was distracting me from the road anyway, which had led to me lane wandering before. While an oncoming car was in the lane I wandered into. Keep in mind that many dogs have run out into the road and tried to maul me, and I have nearly been killed from this, which is the reason I developed the get off the bike method, to quell the chase instinct, use the bike as a shield, prevent lane wandering, and put myself in an optimal position to use defensive measures if I need to, and keep the whole mess of dogs from entering the road and creating even more risk. And of course this was wrong of me. Duh. Sarcasm. But we gotta stay on the bike and keep on cycling, otherwise we're looking for trouble. So, that's what we're gonna do.
And I should mention, before I forget, that dog attacks cost the US alone at least $1 billion per year, and likely much more at this point due to inflation and the increase in number and severity of dog attacks. Also, keep in mind that a person looking to keep themselves safe is never looking for trouble. The only people looking for trouble are the irresponsible dog owners who keep leaving their dogs out, knowing full well the problems and danger their dogs will cause. They put their cows in a fence, so they know they should keep their dogs in a fence, too. And if you want to know how I know these irresponsible dog owners are psychopaths, It becomes pretty obvious when a person prioritizes their supposed right to leave their dog unrestrained over other people's safety. They are psychopaths. And yes, I realize some people are just dumb, but when I see people leaving out dangerous breeds like Rottweilers and leaving out whole packs of dogs, even though they put their cows in a fence, it becomes pretty clear that they know that leaving their dogs unrestrained is wrong. Keep in mind that everyone knows to back away slowly from predatory animals, as any type of running at all is well known to excite the chase instinct of any predatory animal, so these irresponsible dog owners know what they are doing when they tell you to just keep riding. They know they are putting others in danger. Now on to the plan. Make sure you record all this with a GoPro or similar device. SanDisk Extreme 256GB cards work well in the more recent GoPro Hero models, 9 and onward. Don't use other models of memory card, and be careful what size of card you use, as these cameras don't handle them all so reliably. Supposing you use a newer GoPro Hero camera model. 1. Just keep riding. Ignore the dog. I've been told this repeatedly by irresponsible owners, judges, lawyers, and probably by a prosecutor, to just keep riding. Because stopping to quell the dog's chase instinct, which worked wonderfully much of the time unless the dog was very aggressive, to prevent lane wandering or ending up in the ditch, and to use the bike as a shield, etc., is apparently looking for trouble, even though in reality getting off the bike avoids a lot of trouble. So, I will just keep riding. From now on, and you should too just keep riding/walking/jogging. This will kick in the dog's chase instinct. You will be bitten. But that's okay. That's what these irresponsible owners want. They want people to get chewed up and shredded, and that's what they'll get. You and me will just get shredded. But we will be giving these irresponsible owners exactly what they want. This is, after all, what they want. Otherwise they wouldn't be telling you what to do with a threat they never should have created against you in the first place. How does anyone get the gall to tell someone else how to defend themselves against a dog they never should have been endangered by in the first place? I mean, really, a dog can seriously mutilate, permanently disable or even kill you quite easily and rapidly if it hits an artery, and there are arteries in your legs. The infection, which there is a high risk of from a dog bite, can disable or kill you as well. But these people actually have the gall to tell you how to deal with an aggressive dog. Well, give them what they want. And just keep riding/jogging/walking while totally ignoring the dog. Honestly, I think these people get off on endangering others, then playing the victim when someone defends themselves from their dog. Doing this will throw them off balance, and finally get it through their thick skulls that they should restrain their dogs. Do not interact with the dog in any way before it bites you. Just totally ignore it. Otherwise the owner will make some garbage claim about you doing something with the dog.
2. Defend yourself by whatever method you must and can get access to. Stop the attack before too severe damage is done, but only after significant damage is done. If you stop it before serious damage is done, the owner will just spew some nonsense about how it's just playing, and how you are overreacting, and you could end up in jail. I advise against pepper spray, as it can very easily blind you, especially if you are on the ground and the wind blows it back at you. Pepper balls are also inadvisable due to wind. The pepper cloud from a pepper ball stands a very high risk of blowing back on you and blinding you. Pepper gel is much better, but it can still blow back at you, especially if you are on the ground. And it can still get on your hand, and then in your eye or on your nose if you do something like adjust your glasses or guard your face from being wounded. So, these options have the nightmarish potential of blinding you during a defensive situation, but the gel is much less likely to do this. But in some areas you cannot carry anything more than these options. And if you have only this option, use the gel and be careful with it. Keep in mind that non-lethal stuff doesn't always work on dogs, especially the more dangerous breeds/types of dogs, and even certain small dogs. And even if it does work, it can take a few seconds to kick in. A few seconds in which you could be killed or permanently disabled or maimed. Keep in mind that the dog's supposedly sensitive nose and eyes are only part of the equation. Dogs do not process pain the same way we do, especially the fighting types/breeds of dogs. Many dogs only become more aggressive under pain, and many may not notice the pain or react to it in as timely a fashion as you'd expect. Although there are cases where pepper gel can work very well, you must be aware that there are cases where it doesn't work well or can fail entirely or may even backfire. Just do not use the pepper gel before injury. Only use it after injury, otherwise the owner may claim things like it was just playing and running at people and barking, which is normal dog behavior. Keep in mind that mauling people is also normal dog behavior. Also keep in mind that any dog can kill you. Make sure you guard your neck and arms vigilantly. You cannot put a tourniquet on your neck, and you need your arms to apply medical aid and to defend yourself. And don't forget that you have arteries in your legs, and if the dog bites you in the leg, you could bleed to death, which is why I say to carry a tourniquet. And make sure to get the wound cleaned out rapidly and to get tested for rabies ASAP, as infections can disable and kill you too. Whatever you use to defend yourself and stop the attack, use it responsibly as you can during the moment. Try to avoid using a gun, unless you are a very weak person and cannot physically handle the dog that's trying to maul you. A knife could be a much better choice since the dog is already going to be making contact with you. A large knife through the ribs and into the lungs and heart, or in the neck of the dog, will incapacitate the dog much faster, and there is less to worry about in regards to collateral damage and being blinded. Keep in mind that you will need to disable the dog very rapidly once it starts tearing into you. 3. Patch yourself up and call your lawyers, police, and an ambulance. Make sure you have your lawyer on party call while you call 911 and make sure he hears everything, and make sure you are recording everything, and make sure to keep 911 on the phone so that the dispatchers are recording everything. Do not let the police take your camera or memory card. Refuse general anesthesia and choose local anesthesia. If you fall asleep, they may destroy aka lose your evidence. These dog people are so insane that you cannot trust them to not destroy evidence, and a lot of judges and cops and such are dog people. Carry a tourniquet or two or so, and a med kit. For tourniquets and med kits, look up videos about them on YouTube and pick the one that you think is best. I use the RATS tourniquet and the Rapid TQ Everyday Carry Pro med kit, which is about the biggest you will want to carry. It has a blood clotting bandage and a tourniquet in it. Carry the med kit and tourniquets where you can rapidly access them. Learn how to use them and follow the instructions. There are videos on YouTube that can help. Make sure to protect your forearms. I am currently looking into buying or making real forearm armor that is not too ridiculous looking. Keep in mind that the armor must protect against crushing forces as well as piercing, because many dogs can crush bone with their bite. Also, make sure that the armor has ridges such that the dog's teeth cannot slide down to your hand or up to your elbow, but can slide horizontally off your arm. If your arms are mangled, you cannot protect yourself or patch yourself up or even make a phone call to 911. Make sure that people realize that you are just wearing this armor because you have seen lots of dogs running about, and you were afraid of this. Let them think you are just being a bit silly if you must. Now that I think about it, you may want to carry multiple tourniquets. 4. Keep in mind that you are not looking for trouble. You are looking to take your life, especially for those of us who don't own cars, your streets and your sidewalks, hallways, elevators, etc. Back from these irresponsible owners. You have been bullied out of defending yourself pre-injury and have been bullied into just ignoring the dog. You had 3 options. 1. Defend yourself effectively and pre-injury and end up in jail. 2. Live like a recluse, afraid to even go anywhere. 3. This plan of ignoring the dog and not stopping the attack until significant damage is done and then slamming the owner behind bars to send a message to all of these irresponsible owners that no one is putting up with this nonsense anymore. Keep in mind that the only way that cycling/jogging/walking would be looking for trouble is if dog owners were looking to cause pedestrians trouble by leaving their dogs out. So, you are not looking for trouble. The dog owner is the one looking for trouble, as that is the only reason for them to have that dog unrestrained. Plus, if you are just ignoring the dog, there really is no way for them to sanely say that you were looking for trouble. And keep in mind that where I live, it doesn't matter what direction I go in, there are unrestrained dogs everywhere. If you can easily avoid going down a route with dogs, then you should. Unless you are doing this to protect children or old people or someone else that cannot defend themselves, then it may be worth it to risk it. But make sure you completely ignore the dog, which ironically is the most dangerous thing you can do, because if you don't ignore the dog, they will claim you are looking for trouble. Remember, these dog owners are the ones looking for trouble, because if they weren't looking for trouble, they'd just have restrained the dog properly in the first place. There is literally no reason to leave that dog unrestrained or poorly restrained, except to hurt people with their dog. Yes, I realize some owners are just dumb, but from what I have seen, many of these people really are just straight-up psychopaths looking to cause problems and then play the victim for nothing but the sense of power they get off of leaving that dog running about to intimidate and hurt people and get away with it. And even put people in jail if they do successfully defend themselves. This plan we have here is not looking for trouble. It is a last resort and only option left due to the fact that defending yourself pre-injury can get you put in prison. So just ignore the dog and keep on cycling/walking/jogging. 5. Let the owner attack you. Only stop them if you are about to be permanently disabled or killed by their actions, whether directly or indirectly. The more harm they do you, the better, and the longer their jail sentence will be. If what they are doing will only cause a superficial maiming, but not disable or kill you, then allow it.
Exclamation.
I had been getting off the bike and walking when I saw a dog. 1. To quell the chase instinct. 2. To prevent lane wandering, and to prevent ending up in the ditch, as I have ended up lane wandering into the oncoming lane before when distracted by a dog, and I have ended up in the ditch before too when distracted by a dog. And where I live, you can look up one moment, then look away, then look up again, and all of a sudden you have someone barreling down the road at 80 miles per hour, coming out of nowhere, so to speak. So this is a serious risk. 3. To use the bike as a shield. 4. To put myself in an optimal position to use offensive measures if need be. Many times the dog would stop chasing entirely, just because I got off the bike. Keep in mind again that mauling people is actually normal dog behavior.
I note this because I have seen people, including judges, make claims that a dog running at people and barking at people is just normal dog behavior, even though such behavior is a clear prelude to a mauling. Frankly, dogs are inherently violent creatures. They communicate with each other through intimidation and violence, which is why vets apparently call dog parks open-air fight markets. They love shredding other animals to pieces while they are still alive, and many times people too. Violent behavior is normal dog behavior. Why do people refuse to accept this? Yes, I know you can get them to act nice, but when left to their own devices, they are very violent animals, as that is their nature. And even when you do get them to act nice, you never know when they will flip out and get violent toward another person or animal. This is why responsible owners put their dogs in a fence. I have even seen a dog bite a person that was just petting the dog. So, to keep it short, dogs are inherently violent and dangerous animals. Make sure you have self-defense insurance, like US Law Shield, and make sure it covers all weapons, including non-lethal. I would stay away from CCW Safe. I have heard from them both to use a stick to hit the dog, And that shooting a dog will only make it angry, which seems very inconsistent and dishonest to me. And they are pit bull apologists from what I can tell, and yes, I realize all dogs are violent, but a pit bull is going to be much more resistant to pain than most dogs. I have never seen a video of a dog shooting where the dog just got angry, by the way. But if you whack a pit bull or Rottweiler with a stick, it will likely just make it angry. Keep in mind that shooting sturdier dogs like that in the head, and I have seen multiple videos of this, will many times only knock the dog out or make it wander off. So, whacking such a dog with a stick will likely get you killed or mutilated. Don't interact with the owner in any way at all. They will only look for excuses to blame you for the problem they caused. So, just don't say anything to them, and if you have to interact with them, act all nice toward them. That way they can't blame you for anything. Do not notify the owner that their dog is out, or even try. If you go into their yard to talk with them, they may try to start an argument or fight with you and blame you for it and say you are looking for trouble, and also, you are needlessly endangering yourself for the sake of someone who needs to learn to be responsible instead of dumping their responsibilities off on everyone else. They aren't owed that. While some dog owners are just clueless, many are straight-up sociopaths looking to cause problems with their unrestrained dog, and then play like they are the victim when anything happens because of their dog or when anyone gets hurt by their dog. It's not worth the risk to contact them. The sociopath types will do anything they can to destroy you for having any displeasure with their dog at all. These people should never have had the gall to tell others what to do, to keep themselves safe from a threat that never should have been created by these irresponsible dog owners in the first place. Especially when their ideas of just keep riding/walking/jogging are so fundamentally counterproductive and dangerous. And especially for a reason so stupid as they don't want to just restrain their dog. Do not feel guilty when they are hauled away to prison. Flight is a right. You always have the right to try to escape the dog even if it will excite the dog's chase instinct. And just ignoring the dog and continuing to ride/walk/jog is flight. Also, you are not the only one having the problem. I have seen this problem over and over and over again. You are not alone. I even made a video about how you are not the only one. I think I will post the link below. Billions of dollars per year are wasted on dog attacks along with hundreds of thousands of emergency room visits, and tens of thousands of reconstructive surgeries, and who knows how many ruined lives every year. You are not alone. These owners and dog lovers will try to make you feel like you are alone, asking things like, why are you the only one having the problem? But that question, when they ask it, is not about you being the only one having the problem. Asking that question is a power play to make you feel powerless and weak, and to denigrate you for having legitimate concerns. Sociopaths and psychopaths love to make their victims feel weak and helpless and isolated, and they love to use dogs to endanger other people while gaslighting people into thinking they are overreacting. But be assured, you are not alone. And by this method, we can all take our lives back from these dog-worshipping psychopaths.
If you steer the dog, if you get the dog down, you bring his ears to the ground, and you steer him down, the dog will submit. Yeah, but that's what they can breed. You follow the concept of bulldog, pit bull. That's the kind of fighting breed. Right. They have an extra boost. No! Exactly, it's an extra. That's why they can go into a zone where they don't feel the pain anymore. He's using the bulldog in here, which is way too powerful. So we have to make him dog so we can actually create the limits. And we can create submission. Okay. You follow? Because if you're trying to create submission in a fighting breed, it's not going to happen. They'd rather die than surrender. If you're going to die or surrender, I can go, hey, if you add pain, it only infuriates them. Yes, it does. Their pain is the adrenaline rush. They're looking forward for that. They're addicted to it. That's why they're such a are great fighters.